Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bow and Arrow Tarot. Before we get into the weekly reading for the sign of Gemini, I want to remind you all that I'm giving away the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and guidebook this month on my channel. Each month I'm giving away a tarot deck. This is probably the 5th or 6th deck I've given away so far. And here are all the cards on the back if you don't know this deck. And all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and just let me know that you're interested in receiving the deck. Also, please do check back. And I know sometimes it's a pain in the ass to be subscribed to all these different channels. So just check back. Even if you're not subscribed, just check back with me each month, because each month I give away a particular deck. And if I'm giving away the deck that you're interested in, you can subscribe for that month. And you're in the running, I get it, folks. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're all regular people. But this month, that's what I'm giving away. And let's get right into it, Gemini. I'm going to pull out your cards and see what's going on for you right now. It's such a volatile period right now for everyone. So let's just see what your cards are. This could be the one, Gemini. We have give your relationship a chance. And we have true love. Nice. True love came out already once, I think, for the weekly so far. So these are nice energies from the romance angels. Now we're going to look right into your animal spirits. And this is the same deck that I'm giving away. I use this deck every week in my readings. And if you like this deck, you like seeing it, then my weeklies, I use it regularly for my weeklies. It's my go-to deck. And animal spirits can come into our lives. Animal spirits, a lot of people find it difficult to get into animal spirits because they're not really sure how it applies to their life, right? So animal spirits, one thing you can do with a certain animal spirit, if you know that you're resonating with the spirit of the elephant, let's say, right? Let's pull out your cards and we'll talk about your cards. And you're going through that particular situation of that animal spirit, you can meditate on the spirit of the animal. You can think about it, the way it behaves and all of that. And it's a way of sort of talking to your system on a metaphysical level. And it can endear the energy. So let's see what your first animal spirit is. We have the lizard for you, Gemini. Fire. All right, fire energy. What do we have next? More, air energy, dragonfly. Air energy for you, Gemini here. Beautiful. The dragonfly comes out a lot for you, maybe because you are an air elemental. More energy with the crow. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to talk to you about what I mean more with your actual cards. The lizard. Now, the lizard is associated with extrasensory perception. It is a fire elemental animal spirit. And so here we have the spirit of the lizard. When it comes into your life, Gemini, it could be that right now you are picking up on a lot of energies, right? You're really thinking a lot. You're firing a lot. Your head is getting a lot of, maybe a lot of messages, a lot of thoughts coming in. You're very highly attuned to everyone else's energy around you, and it's becoming a little bit overwhelming, right? Now, first of all, the spirit of the lizard is the extrasensory perception. Now, when we are in balance with it, right, we are doing quite well. We are getting just as much, just the right amount of information that we can tolerate coming in, and we're working with this spirit in a harmonious way. When the spirit of the lizard is something you're resonating with and it's out of balance, it could be that right now you're getting overstimulated. And so what you can do is you can remind yourself that just like the lizard, you need to pull back. You need to pull back from the things that are, overstimulating you. It could be that you're hanging out too much with too many people. You're out in public too much. It could be the bright lights. It could be whatever kind of work you do. You're just around way too much energy, and it's time to sort of take a break. Close the door, and just find some solitude. And this is something you would want to do if you're resonating with the spirit of the lizard. And with any animal spirit, if you're resonating with that energy, you want to think to yourself if you're in balance or not. If you're in balance, then this is just a time in your life where that energy is something you're resonating with, and you're in balance with it and harmony with it, and it's a good thing. You're going to reap all of the good feedback from that. But if you're resonating with that spirit animal when things are out of balance and it feels like you can't quite get into the groove, then there's very specific things that you can do. And with some animal spirits, you can actually meditate on the animal itself. Just think about the energy of the animal to help you kind of bring back that spirit and help you sort of respond in a harmonious way. Now, the dragonfly is another one. The dragonfly is an air energy animal spirit. It is associated with illusion, light, and the mind. The Lord of the mind, right? That is the totem animal for it, the dragonfly. And the reason why a lot of times is that, of course, it's an air element because it flies. Excuse me, guys. But it's also the fact that we associate air with the quality of the mind and that kind of fleeting energy of the dragonfly. You know, the iridescence of its wings. So, you know, if any two people sitting by the river, right, saw the same dragonfly, it would look completely different to each person. Because of the nature of its wings and its iridescence, it all depends on how you look at it for the picture that you're going to get. And so this is a reminder, the dragonfly, the spirit of a dragonfly comes into our lives when we are really getting caught up in our thoughts, right? We are really having a difficult time distinguishing what is real and what isn't kind of really going on. We may be really up in our heads too much. We may be giving our thoughts too much value or thinking they are absolutely the truth when they are in fact only our perception of something. And so when the dragonfly is in balance, when this energy in our lives is in balance, then you know, you're grounded. You know what's real, what isn't real. You know what thought patterns to follow and which ones not to, which ones are, realistic and which ones aren't. When this is out of balance, it's time again to do certain things to bring it in. And one of the things you can do is meditate on the nature of the dragonfly, how it changes so much, right? And how you can never really be sure where it is at. It may be here, and as soon as you see it, it's so fast, and the colors, it may be slightly different, maybe somewhere else. And that reminds you that, our minds are fleeting, and to remain grounded in all things, to always assume that you might not be 100% right about something, to allow the chance for a different perspective to come in. This is what we want. And this is the spirit of the dragonfly coming in. Now, the spirit of the crow. Here we have more air energy, and the spirit of the crow is really something special because crows are indeed an extremely intelligent animal, very, very smart birds. And the crow is associated with magic. It's one of the strongest, most revered totems in witchcraft and fields of esotericism and ritual and theology associated with things like witchcraft, cultism, shamanism, spiritual healing, because the crow is able to have such piercing insight and understanding. The crow understands its environment to such a high degree. It's an air element. And of course, the air element, we think of it being because it's a bird. But it's also because it is to do with the mind, like I said, same way with the dragonfly, because it's to do with the mind, and air is associated with the mind, but it's not because the bird flies so much, but it's because of the bird's keen insight and mental acuity. That makes it also ideally an air element because it has such a strong mental ability. So the spirit of the crow comes in when you are beginning to understand the nature of magic as it pertains to your reality and your experience. You may be opening up more or having more experiences to magical events or events that sort of can't really be defined by conventional terms. You may be just finding yourself drawn to this area of life, to this type of experience. You may be finding out that you have certain skills in this area and there's certain understandings are beginning to come into you. And so again, we want to remember at this time with all the animal spirits, we want to be balanced, right? And being unbalanced with the crow is delving too deeply into these things for selfish reasons, or becoming becoming ungrounded, or too sort of I want to say cultish about it, or fanatical, or just sort of a negative energy with it. But when it is in balance, you are reaping all of the positive feedback from having a very positive outlook on it and resonating with this energy harmoniously. Very strong energy for you guys who are into those things, right? Maybe even tarot reading or healing or Reiki or magic, whatever the case is. As long as you're doing it from the point of love and balance and understanding that you are always the student and always learning, then you will reap, the best sort of feedback that you can from the energy that you're putting out. And I'm trying to get away. I always say the rewards, right? But I'm trying to get away from using terms like that, because the universe doesn't reward you. The universe only feeds back to you what you put out. Right? It just simply feeds back to you, right? It's all about attention, and it gives you what you focus on, which is why we always talk about, the power of our attention and focus, and how strong that is with regard to bringing the right things that we want into our lives. And it really is truly like that. And so I've been starting to say more like, getting the most positive feedback that you can get from what you're putting out, because that's a lot more accurate to what's really happening. And certainly when we talk about the law of attraction, that's what's happening. King of Pentacles, Lovers, and the Empress. All right, so let me just move this up a little bit. All right, so Lovers has shown up a couple times now. King of Pentacles, excuse me, guys. Some of you coming into this week, Gemini, resonating with this strong authority in the area of your career, your business. Now, King of Pentacles, I've been saying more and more, this king has been showing up a lot. A lot of my regulars are going to recognize this. And I want to say that Pentacles is also the suit that rules the human body. So King of Pentacles a lot of times can also be nurses and healthcare practitioners. Doesn't always have to be somebody who's specifically on the money train, like a financier or an accountant or a businessman. Pentacles is all about just having power and control. Certainly the King of Pentacles, power, control, and authority over your material world. Excuse me, your material world, which involves the work that you do for your livelihood. It can also involve the type of work that you do, right? If you're a doctor or a nurse or healer. And it can just indicate a certain ability to manifest success in the material world. And this is what you do. So a lot of times, of course, that's going to be your career, your business, or whatever it is you do for work. You're coming in with a high degree of authority. You may have you may have already had this level of authority, but it's just coming out this week, right? I'm saying in the sense that whatever you're doing this week, it's as a result of this, I want to say, part of your persona, right? So it could be at work. It could be to do with whatever it is that you are at the top of. Because King of Pentacles can oftentimes be benefactors as well. They can be mentors to people to help them sort of along their way. So it's quite interesting. So when you're coming into the week with King of Pentacles energy, it's by virtue of that part of your life that you are focused on. Coming up against the Lover's energy. Something happens this week, and this is the second reading this has happened with. Something happens this week where you come right up against a love connection or a relationship that now turns into a strong love connection. Again, true love has come up, or this could be the one. So it could be a real realization. Now, the spirit of the crow is here. Like I said, the crow is really the totem animal for magic, right? So it could be that a lot of you are having a very sort of magical week because you're having some strong kind of love, nurturing, creative major arcana cards, because you round the week off with Empress. And Empress is all about nurturing and love of self. So it's interesting because I feel like this Lover's energy comes in for you, and it could be coming in such a magical way that it really right away kickstarts also your self-confidence, your, yes, of course, your faith in magic, right? But also now, you know, when you believe in magic, then life becomes more magical. And then, of course, you become more interested in taking care of yourself and getting the most out of it. And here's Empress energy. Empress is all about that. Because she has to take care of herself to be able to create. Be able to continue to be this fountain of creation. She also has to take care of herself, mind, body, and soul. And so this is the energy you come out with this week. It feels like a real energy booster that some of you guys are getting. And you're getting it through this love connection, and something really special is happening for you. But it really feels like you're the garden, and this week it just suddenly is starting to bloom, sort of thing. It's very, very nice. Queen of Cups, King of Wands, excuse me, Nine of Cups. So a lot of you are resonating with Queen of Cups energy, which means you're coming into the week really wanting to express your love with somebody. It's all about you opening up your heart chakra. And you're feeling very sensitive. You're feeling very sort of like emotional, right? Queen of Cups is very healthy emotionally, right? But when she comes in, it's just is like you are very much wearing your heart on your sleeve. You really can't hold your feelings back. You don't want to hold your feelings back. It's a state of being where you're absolutely prepared to sort of be vulnerable because you'd rather just express yourself, right? You're really, really open with expressing yourself. There's no more hiding who you are or hiding how you feel, and you're okay with that. Coming into this week, you run up against a King of Wands, and I think this is somebody who's had their eye on you for quite some time, Gemini, and they're coming in for you quite aggressively because they're looking at you, right? So you're the Queen of Cups. They're definitely sort of have their eye on you. And it could be that this is the person you have indeed been waiting to sort of speak to or talk to. You guys may be coming back together after a period of separation, right? But in any case, there is a strong magnetism here. And by the end of the week, you round off with a Nine of Cups, which is a real feeling of being blessed and happy. And I wanna say that what happens is that the outcome of you guys running into each other isn't necessarily known right now. What is, however, coming out from the message and from your guides is that the Nine of Cups is, we want to say that the Nine of Cups is reminding you how blessed you are. The Nine of Cups is letting you know, and by the end of the week, you resonating with the Nine of Cups, it's like you just feel happy. You feel happy, you feel blessed. It's like without any expectation of knowing what this is going to be, whether it's going to be a relationship or not, you know, whether it's a reconciliation that works out or not. It's like really interesting. It's like the feeling here of coming together, however way you guys come together this week, you really let go of any sort of expectations and you just kind of feel the good vibes, the feeling, the happy. And it's a nice vibe. And I think it's good for you to be like that because it's a very in the moment kind of energy where you're just going to be enjoying the moment. It'd be interesting to see how this scenario plays out over the next few weeks for those of you who are resonating with it. That, of course, over the next few weeks may get more information about how this plays out. And sometimes some of my readings are like follow-ons from the week before. So we'll see if this comes up again in next week's reading. Sun energy, Nine of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. All right, guys. So, well, this is the next one, right? This is the final reading. The sun is coming out clear as day. Bringing clarity, bringing abundance, bringing opportunity for growth. That's what the sun brings. It brings the environment for growth because it brings warmth. So it brings understanding and clarity. People understand each other better in the light of the sun. You know, when you see somebody at nighttime under the light of the moon, both people are going to be a little bit nervous, right? When two people walk by each other under the bright light of the sunshine, they don't have that same nervousness. Each one can see the other. So there's this clarity that fosters cooperation and growth that the sun brings, right? Not to only say that, of course, the light and the warmth of the sun grows the plants, etc. But when we're talking about metaphorically, we're talking about this warmth that encourages all of us to come together and to be more than ourselves. So it's a strong energy sun coming in. It can, however, indicate a bit of a spotlight being put on you. So when sun energy comes into your reading, sometimes it can indicate a little bit of fame, even if it's local fame. It could be fame on a big scale and attention on a big scale, but it can also just be, you know, a little, you know, a little spotlight that's on you in your little social circle or in your life, wherever you're at, just that you're getting a little bit more attention. You may be getting a little bit more attention romantically sometimes. But in any case, this is the energy you're resonating with coming into the week. The energy you're met with is the Nine of Pentacles. And, you know, this is quite interesting because I want to say there are certain things that happened this week that really reinforce your sense of ambition and independence, right? So again, the sun comes in, and this could very well be what I was talking about. Some of you may be in a particular area in life, field, work, whatever, that by virtue of that, you are, of course, a little bit out in the public, or you may have a bit more visual attention on you, or, you know what I mean, where people see you a lot, you know. But certain events happen this week that really make you not necessarily pull away from that, but certainly reassert your sense of independence and I want to say authority and independence and living the way you want to live. The Nine of Pentacles person is very ambitious, very successful, has a lot of money. But of course, she is in her garden and she likes being in her garden. And there's a certain sense of alienation and boundaries there with the hedges, right? That's symbolic of a desire from a person who resonates with this to be a little bit apart from others. You know, in a sense of like a cocoon sometimes, maybe a sense of protection, right? A sense of keeping her focus on her ambitions and her goals, and without having that focus kind of being diffused by others coming in. So there's a lot that goes on with this Nine of Pentacles energy, and it's interesting because she resonates. Nine of Pentacles is one of the closest cards to the Queen of Pentacles in essence, in vibe, in energy. I feel like the spirit of the lizard is here a little bit in a sense that you may be pulling back also from the sunshine, right? You may be pulling back from all the energy that's around you and everything, the bustling a little bit, because you might be resonating a little bit with that spirit of the lizard and just getting overstimulated, becoming quite confused, quite tired. You know, your energy is gone. You don't know what to think next. And so I think that you're pulling back. By the end of the week, you resonate with the Queen of Pentacles. And this is interesting because I feel like this is actually somebody who's going to come into you and help you out. Someone who has a very maternal attitude towards you, but who probably understands what you're going through. They may be in the same field that you're in. There may be a colleague or a friend or family member, what have you, but someone who has a maternal attitude towards you and has been there where you're at, and it will come in by the end of the week to sort of help you deal with some of this, because there's definitely a crisis of sort of energy and maybe even dragonfly in a sense that you're becoming mentally worn out from all of the maybe attention, right? All of the light that's on you right now. It's quite interesting reading. This is going to be for a very specific Gemini out there. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading for March 29th to April 5th. For my lovely Geminis, don't forget to let me know if you're interested in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook. All right, all you have to do is be subscribed and leave me a comment letting me know you're interested. If you're new and you're subscribing, check out the join button that's right there. If you're already subscribed, check out the join button that's right there on the video or on my homepage. There on any video or homepage, you'll see join. Just click that and it'll tell you how to join my channel for just 99 cents a month. You can join my channel and have access to emojis and shout outs, and also my new Love Tarot reading series, which I'm going to be starting for April. So that'll be starting next week. All right, guys, but for right now, lovely Gemini, I'm just going to say have a wonderful week, and I shall see you next week for your weekly general outlook. Bye-bye now.